police showed up at my door after my best friend disappeared, I thought they were going to tell me she was dead. What they said was so much worse. I texted Brianna 3 times on Tuesday and she didn't respond. By Wednesday morning, I drove to her apartment and knocked on the door. Her landlord answered. "Can I help you?" I explained I was looking for Brianna. She moved out yesterday, took everything and left. I tried calling her phone and it went straight to voicemail. I went home completely confused because we just made plans to go hiking that weekend. On Thursday morning, there was a knock on my door. 2 detectives stood on my porch. "We need to ask you some questions about a recent death." My heart dropped. I thought they were going to tell me Brianna was dead. Instead, one of them pulled out a photo of a man I'd never seen before. "Do you know this person?" I shook my head. "I've never seen him before in my life." They looked at each other. "Can we come inside?" We sat in my living room and one of the detectives leaned forward. "This man was found deceased in his apartment 2 days ago. We found your fingerprints on a kitchen knife at the scene. Your hair was found on his couch. Your gym membership card was in his bedroom." I felt like I couldn't breathe. That's impossible. I don't know him. I've never been to his apartment. They asked me where I was Monday night. I told them I was home alone watching TV and had no way to prove it. They asked if anyone had access to my belongings. I mentioned Brianna and explained she'd been missing since Tuesday. "What's her full name?" I gave them her information and they wrote it down. They told me not to leave town and left. I immediately tried to call Brianna again, but her phone was still off. I drove to the office building where she worked as an accountant. I went to the reception desk. "I'm looking for Brianna Hayes." The receptionist looked confused. "We don't have anyone by that name working here." I insisted I'd picked her up from this building before. She checked her system again. "I'm sorry, there's no one by that name in our directory." I sat in my car trying to understand what was happening. That night, I went through my apartment looking for things that might be missing. My spare house key was gone from the drawer where I kept it. A coffee mug I never used was missing from the back of my cabinet. The scarf I'd worn to a wedding last year wasn't in my closet. The next morning, the detectives came back. "We have more evidence we'd like to discuss." They showed me photos from the crime scene. My scarf was draped over the couch. The missing coffee mug was in the sink with my lipstick on the rim. A receipt with my signature was found in the trash. "I didn't put any of those things there," I said, my voice shaking. "Someone is setting me up." They asked about Brianna again, and I gave them her phone number and address. They came back an hour later. "The phone number is disconnected. The address you gave us is an empty apartment." We ran the name Brianna Hayes and found nothing. No driver's license, no social security number, no employment history. "Are you sure that's her real name?" I pulled up photos of us together on my phone and showed them. They took my phone to send the photos to themselves. "We're going to need you to come down to the station for further questioning." I called a lawyer immediately. Over the next 2 days, I discovered everything. Brianna's job didn't exist. The graduate school she said she attended had no record of her. Her sister I'd met once was actually an actress she'd paid. The coffee shop where we first met had security footage of her following me there. She hadn't randomly sat next to me. She'd been watching me and planned the whole thing. My lawyer got access to Brianna's apartment before she left and found a box hidden in the closet. Inside were copies of my house key, strands of my hair in a plastic bag, one of my old credit cards I thought I'd lost, and a notebook. I sat in the police station reading the notebook while my lawyer and the detectives watched. It was full of notes about me, my daily routine, where I kept my spare key, my fingerprint on a glass she'd saved from my apartment, plans for how to transfer my DNA to the crime scene, the victim's name with notes like ex-boyfriend, restraining order, perfect target. The last entry was dated a week ago. "Everything is in place. She will take the fall. New identity ready. Leaving Tuesday." I closed the notebook and looked up at the detectives. "Her real name isn't Brianna Hayes. She spent an entire year pretending to be my friend so she could frame me for killing her ex-boyfriend." One of the detectives took the notebook from me and started flipping through it. The other one was looking at the items from the box. My lawyer put his hand on my shoulder. I sat there watching the detectives' faces, trying to figure out if they believed me or if I was about to be arrested for a crime I didn't commit. Full story on the channel below.